Hello students, how are you all? Hope fine and healthy. So I will be taking your computer classes, that is basics of computer programming. So I am your computer science teacher Chaitra. So last video I have sent about the part A, that is definition of the computer language. So what is a computer language? So why we need a computer language? Just it's a communication for the user to talk or to with the computer. Then what is low level languages and what are high level languages, and what is standalone application and web based application, and why C language, why you are going to learn C language. So I have briefed you about all these I think, why we require C language, what is standalone, what is low level language and high level language. So if you have any doubts, please ask me in the group. So don't hesitate to ask me any doubts. These are the basic things which are required for the programming. So if you see the video, if you can understand, it's better. Otherwise, if you're not able to understand the concepts, you can just ask me. Then let us continue with the part B now. System analysis, algorithm, features and characteristics of algorithm, notations of algorithm and flowchart. So in part C, we are going to learn about the programming logic, number system and conversion of number system and exercises. So our first chapter is problem solving using computer. So we as a human beings, we get lot of problems, right? So we made a machine computer to solve our problem. So we need to solve it when the problem arises. So the computer can solve any problem, but we need to give all the inputs or instructions to the computer. Before giving any instructions, we need to analyze what it is, what the problem is, what type of problem is. For example, if you take a problem in the human body, for example, I have a problem in the heart. So I need to analyze what has happened to the body first. Then I need to analyze where I am getting the problem. Second, what are all the symptoms and how to tackle the problem. Correct? Here also, there are some stages of system analysis, that is your fact finding. Facts is what is the things that is making a problem. Next, understanding the current system. So you have to understand what is the current system, so that how can I handle the problem. Next, produce the data flow diagrams. So you need a way, that is a mannered way to make the to solve the problem. You can't directly go inside the problem, or you can't directly get direct inside what it is, and you can't solve it. So you need to analyze what are all the systems. For that you need a proper planning. Next is identify the user requirements. So identify the user requirements is the doctor can't give directly the medicine or do the operation for the heart. He need to understand what a patient wants. So what are all the symptoms he got before any heart attack or before any heart failure or something like that. So he need to analyze it. Next, interpret the user requirements. So before going for a surgery, can it be cured with the medicines or the tablets, or it needs a surgery, that is major surgery. So all this has to be done or taken by the doctor, asking the user or a patient reference. The interpret agree the objectives with the user. So he'll come and tell, doctor will come and tell, so you need a surgery, it can't be cured with the medicines. After surgery also you need to take the medicines. So but you need a major surgery. So he comes and talks with the patient. Then collect the data from the correct system. He needs the data from whether he is a diabetic patient, whether already a heart failure was done earlier, so then whether he is having any allergies, something like that all needs to be collected by the doctor before doing any surgery. Then once the surgery is done, his problem is reduced and the heart works very fine. So these things are very important in any problem. If you can take any system, all these are important. Next, what is system analysis? It's a process of collecting and interpreting facts, identifying the problems and decomposition of system into many components. Exactly. The system has to be divided, or the problems has to be divided into different types. So you can't directly go and access the problem. First we need to make the components, different components of the system. Then only we can see where the problem is arising. So it's a process of collecting the facts. Facts are nothing but the data or the information. So system analysis is conducted for the purpose of studying a system or its parts to identify its objectives. So we need to first analyze the system. That is, what is a system? What is basically a system? Then only if you learn completely about the system, then you can tackle the problems. So it is a problem solving technique that improves the system and ensures that all the components of system work efficiently to accomplish their purpose or a task. So it is a problem solving technique. So what is system analysis? It's a problem solving technique that improves the system. So system has to improve, right? So whenever a person is having a heart attack, he can't just die. The heart should be completely, the veins where it got stuck has to be done corrected through the surgery. So that his all the other systems will work. Correct? So here it's a problem solving technique that improves the system and ensures that all the components of the system are working fine, efficiently, in an efficient manner. It should be in a good efficient way, not just simply working, so that our task is accomplished. So analysis specify what the system should do. Analysis means what the system has to do. Fine. Next, then what is the system? So let us go to the system now. You can just see the image over there. System is nothing but a group of functionally related elements such as human body, communication system, travel system, network system, or a computer system. These are some of the examples I have given here. Human body is a system. Your communication is also a system. Your travel have a system, and network has a system, and computer is also a system. Basically, systems are created to solve the problems. Is it? Yes. So basically the systems are created to solve the problems, and systems are also divided into many components because whenever the problem arises, it is easy to tackle that particular component where there is a problem instead of handling whole system. So another way of system is to approach or an organized way of dealing the problems. So there is an organized way of dealing the problem, that is nothing but the system analysis. So in this era, what we are going now is system analysis and design deals with the software development activities. Why are software development activities? Because all the systems are now computerized. So for any system to work, we need a software. So software are nothing but a set of instructions or a program given to the computer to do some particular task. So correct. So the software development is very important in this particular generation, that is your artificial generation, robotic generation. The software development is very much interested. Now, what is the organized way is writing algorithms, drawing the flow chart, coding and execution. So how the organized way should come is writing algorithms, then drawing the flow chart, coding and execution. Once all these things are done, then only it becomes a software or a program. So you have to write the algorithm, so you have to draw the flow chart, and you have to do the coding, and then done the execution. So once the execution is done and the software is working fine, it can be accessed by the users. So you can just see in the image, this is nothing but your software development cycle. First you need to analyze the software, then the software has to be designed, then it has to be developed and tested, next it has to be implemented. Once the implementation is done, then the documentation of the software has to be done, then the evaluation is the ratings of the software, how it is working. So one more image is there, that is system analysis, system requirements. So what are the requirements of the system? First is analyzing the system, that is studying the system. Then what are all the requirements of the system? Then the next is the development of the system, then the testing of the system, then implementation, training and the support. So this is the software development life cycle, which is very important for any person to write a programming or to do the coding. So the system analysis, system requirements, system development, system testing, system implementation, system training and support. Now let us see what is the algorithm. So you can just see in the image. For to do all the analyzation, designing, experiment, implement, you need to write the algorithm. So it's the first stage of the program development. Algorithm is a procedure or a formula to solve a particular problem. So there is some procedures you need to follow while coding, then for writing a software. So algorithm is the first stage. The name algorithm related to Arab mathematician named Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi. It came from the this person. So algorithm name. So algorithm is a step-by-step instructions. Instruction are nothing but the data given to the computer to solve a particular problem. So correct. So you need a step-by-step instruction, right? So whenever the problem arises, we need a step-by-step instruction. That is nothing but the algorithm. Next. So algorithm in real life. So what is the algorithm? So a logical sequence of steps solving a problem is nothing but the algorithm. Next, there are some real life problems and there are some mathematical problems. So first let us see about the real life. So consider the following. Problem is baking a cake. Many will be having a problem how to bake a cake. So before baking a cake, we need to make some procedures. So we need to start. We need to first preheat the oven at 180 degree. Then we need to prepare a baking pan. Beat the butter with the sugar. Then mix them with the flour, eggs and essence vanilla. Then pour the dough into the baking pan. Put the pan into the oven and end. So without preheating, you can't bake a cake. Or you can't first pour the dough into the baking pan. So you need to prepare a baking pan. You need to beat the butter. The butter can't be put at the end, or without butter or eggs or vanilla the cake won't happen. So there is a procedure. So this is nothing but the algorithm. So this is algorithm. Next, prepare a tea here. Fill the kettle, boil the water. You need to boil the water. Then fetch cup. Put the tea bag in the cup. Pour boiling water in the cup. Take tea bag out of the cup. Add sugar, stir, add milk, stir and ready. So there is some procedure you need to follow while doing or while solving any problem or while doing any task. So let us see some of the algorithm to find sum of two numbers. Start. Assume two numbers x and y. Variable sum is 0. Add two numbers x and y. Store the value in the sum. If you want to try again with different numbers, then go to step 2. Again go to the step 2. If you don't want, then you can end it. So you need to assume two numbers. This is a mathematical problem to find the two numbers. So why we require this algorithm is it gives us an exact picture how to solve the problem. Next, let us see the features of algorithm. All algorithms start with the start and end with the stop. It's a step-by-step manner. Steps should be clear. Steps should not be a jumble. If you have to write the steps so that it is easy for other persons to understand. It should provide some means to meet some unexpected situations like division by 0. So it should tell if the division by 0 comes, what is the next step you have to take. So it should provide some means. So if we come across this unexpected situations and our problem is not able to tackle it, then whatever the way we are solving will be a wrong thing. Next, you can just see the characteristics of an algorithm. Well-defined inputs, well-defined outputs, then finiteness. Finiteness is nothing but should end in the finite number of steps. It should not be a lengthy steps. You should make the problem as less as possible. Then clear and ambiguous, that is definiteness. Then language independent and feasible. Feasible is for any person to see the algorithm and he can code it, and it should be language independent. So you can't write in the Kannada and you ask a person to code it. So it has to be written in the English so that he can read and he can start doing coding. So notations of the algorithm: problems, algorithms, input, processing and the output. So So there are some algorithms. I have given you some examples here. First is sum of the first 50 odd numbers. Sum is equal to 0, n is equal to 1, sum is equal to sum plus 1, n is equal to n plus 2. We have asked for first 50 odd numbers. So we have to make 0 first and n is equal to 1 because we need 1, 3, 5, 7. So just a repetition, n is equal to n plus 2. Repeat steps 4 and 5 until n is lesser than or equal to 99. Okay, we want only 50 odd numbers. So print sum. Next is find the sum of two numbers. Read a comma b, c is equal to a plus b, print or display c stop. So once you write the algorithm, it can be programmed in any language. Fine. Next, area of triangle where three sides are given a plus b plus c. So s is the a square root. So square root area, it's a formula, we are going to calculate it and we are going to display a and stop. So it should be finite. So these steps are clear so that we can code it. Next, algorithm to calculate area of a circle. Start, read the value of r. You know, area is equal to pi r square. So set pi equal to 3.14. We are already setting because it is the same value wherever you take the pi values. 3.14. So area is equal to pi r square, that is pi into r. Print r and area. So both radius is also printed as well as the area is also printed. So this, if you write the algorithms like this, then it will be easy for you to do coding. Next, let us see about the flowcharts. Flowcharts are nothing but the pictorial representation. So algorithm we have done. So we need to make a pictorial representation of the algorithm. So the common flowcharts are used to illustrate algorithm in order to aid the visualization of the program. Flowcharts are to be read from top to bottom and left to right in order to follow an algorithm logic. It has to be read from the top to bottom. Flowchart will come from the start to end and from the left to the right. To start to finish. Below is you can just see the terminator that is used to represent the start and end or start and stop. Then you have begin and end keyword. Next you have process, an instruction carried out by the program. You have arrows, they are nothing but the connectivities. Then the decision making. You know what is decision making, right? If it is true, go there. If it is false, go to some other way. So that is decision making, selection and repetition, input and output, data entry and the display, then subprogram. So you can just see some of the symbols over here. So start stop, it comes in the oval shape. It indicates the ending and the beginning and the ending of the flow chart. Input output parallelogram, it indicates the input and output. Processing rectangle, it indicates the calculation. So decision, it comes in the diamond shape. It indicates the decision making. Flow lines, it comes in the arrows, and connector is a circle. Here also one more I have given. It's a common type of diagram which represents the algorithm using various kinds of shapes and connecting arrows. So you can just see here, this is start and end terminator. So it is nothing but your oval shape. This is oval shape. Then this is arrows. This is your parallelogram. This is your rectangle processing, and this is your diamond for decision. Next, I have given you some examples here. Example 1, start, input radius, calculate the area 3.14 radius star radius, that is calculate the area of a circle pi r square, display area, end. So start, it has come in the oval shape. Then input and output in the parallelogram. So this is a rectangle where the processing takes place, and this is again in the parallelogram your output, and end is in the circle. So this is the way of writing the program. So next one more I have given, both algorithm as well as flowchart. You can just see it. Next is start, input the length and breadth, calculate the area of a rectangle, length into breadth, then print area, end. So you can see how the notations have been done. Next, one more example 4. Start, order to the burger, want french fries. Yes means you order fries. No means you want any drink. Again there, yes means order drink. No means you pay to the cashier. So you need to just start, order for the burger. Then options, they are asking you want any french fries. No means they are asking again want any drink. Again no means you pay the cash. If you want french fries, yes. Then again it comes to Want a drink? No. Again it comes to here. So this is nothing but the decision making. So one more I have given here. Start, read the temperature. Temperature is less than 32. S means below freezing. Then more than 32, above freezing point, end. So both will come to the end stage. So now algorithms in the everyday life. So I have given you some activities here. This is the first activity 3. Already have given first and second in the first video. So I'll continue with the activity 3. So please do the activities. This is for your well-being. So please do it. So I have given you the algorithm here. Start, boiling water, prepare mug, put a teaspoon coffee and sugar, pour hot water, stir, end. So you need to write the flow chart for this. Algorithm already given here. So please write a flow chart. Hope you know what is flow chart. You go through the video once, you will come to understand. You please write the flow chart. Then activity 4, write the algorithm to call your friend. You don't need to write the flow chart for this. You need to just write the steps how you are going to call your friends. So you can directly call your friend. You need to take the mobile number. You need to first start with the mobile, then check with the number whether it's existing or not existing. Then if it is not existing, you should save the number. Then you can call the friend and you can talk. So one more activity 5 I have given here. Write the name and description of the flow chart. You need to tell me what is the name and why it is used for with the example. If you can't give the example, you can just describe it. Then what is this? What is this? What are these used for? These are the very important things for doing any program or coding. So thank you students. So we shall continue with the part C, that is in the next class, with the programming logic and the number systems. So hope you have understood the concepts of algorithms and flow chart, and what is a system and why we require a system analysis. Then what are all the algorithms for the daily life, and what is a system and the system development cycle. So then why require a system analysis? Mainly for the problem solving. Thank you.